From New York is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to submit a statement by the chairwoman of the Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security, Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas, into the record.
That request will be covered on a general leave.
Mr. Speaker, I now yield 2 minutes to the gentlelady from Texas, a member of the Judiciary Committee, Ms. Escobar.
The gentlelady from Texas is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong support of H.R. 350, the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act. Here we are again, reeling from another horrific domestic terrorist attack. This week, a racially motivated shooting in Buffalo, New York, perpetrated by an avowed white supremacist. In 2018, it was the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. In April of 2019, it was a synagogue in Poway, California. And on August 3rd, 2019, it was my community of El Paso, Texas. After every attack on minority communities by radicalized and heavily armed young men who have embraced white supremacy, our media and even some of our colleagues, leaders in this country, refuse to call this violence what it is: domestic terrorism. H.R. 350 calls on the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security to dedicate resources specifically to track and combat the growing threat of white supremacy and neo-Nazism in the United States. H.R. 350 will give communities like mine a fighting chance the next time an angry racist shares a deranged screed online and decides to drive hours to attack vulnerable and innocent people at our grocery stores or our houses of worship. The Anti-Defamation League has tracked 450 murders over the last decade committed by these terrorists. Right-wing extremists are responsible for over 75% of these horrific attacks. And 50% of these horrific attacks are by white supremacists. Mr. Speaker, America has a racism problem. America has a hate problem. And America has a domestic terrorism problem. We must address it. The Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act is a crucial step in the right direction. On behalf of my community, I thank you, and I yield back.
Gentlewoman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd ask unanimous consent that the gentleman from North Carolina, Representative Bishop, be able to control the remainder of our time.
Without objection, the gentleman from North Carolina is recognized.
You can reserve.